So here we have data. This is data that you guys have all seen before. I will try and make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. View. I thought that, how did I zoom this before? Anybody remember? Did I just do it on my computer here? Whoops. It's just doing that. Ah, come on. Does that actually zoom in on this though? No, of course not. You guys see it okay? Can we just call this good for right now? Okay. If let's in the past we have specified this very kind of simple mediation model where protective strategies predict alcohol problems via alcohol use, right? They reduce alcohol-related problems by reducing alcohol use. So let's do our kind of basic Barron and Kenny steps. Let's go analyze, regression. I want you to notice right now, if we go in regression, these are all basic SPSS commands, right? The only point that I want to make here is there's nothing out of place, because in a little bit, there's going to be something out of place. Linear. And for this first one, let's call audit probs our dependent variable. And what do we want to predict in our first step for our Barron and Kenny steps? Or what is our predictor? Yep, PBS. And let's use PBS total. All right. Next, what do we want to do next? Let's not do that just yet. I mean, we can kind of mix these up a little bit if we want to. Let's leave problems in here, and let's do the mediator just for the heck of it. So let's add audit consumption here. That's in block 2. Block 3, let's move this over and let's put consumption in. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, so we will just stick with these first two to start with. All right, so there's block 1, there's block 2. We haven't centered anything here. And if we're not looking at any interactions, you don't need to center it. If you think about the reasons, if you think back to your exam, the reasons why we center variables before forming interactions, and none of those reasons matter here with one exception, and that is that we will have a corrected mean instead of the true mean. We're not going to worry about that right now. So let's just hit OK. And so we can see here in our 2 steps, PBS predicts alcohol problems, right? Oh, shoot. Did I put these both in? I did. Let's go back and redo this. Let's just go regression, linear, step 2. Let's pluck that out. So we're going to run just this model. That's our basic Barron and Kenny step 1 model, right? Analyze, regression, linear. Let's go ahead and put consumption in here, and then let's run that. There is step 2 in Barron and Kenny, and you can see that PBS does so in step 1. PBS is negatively associated with alcohol problems. In step 2, PBS is negatively associated with alcohol consumption. Analyze, regression, linear. Now we need to test the relationship between consumption and alcohol problems, right? There we go. Step 3. We see that there is a positive association between alcohol use and consumption. And then step 4 is what? What do we do for step 4? The final step? Repeat the first step, but with? We're going to put PBS and consumption in the same model, right? And so in step 1, PBS was negatively related to alcohol problems. In step 2, alcohol use was negatively associated, PBS was negatively associated with alcohol use. In step 3, alcohol use was positively associated with alcohol problems. We've had statistically significant slopes all along the way. And now in step 4, we're putting both the x variable and the m variable, the mediator, in the same model. And if we have partial mediation, what happens? The main effect is significant for PBS, and according to Barron and Kenny, we see a reduction in the magnitude of the C-slope, right? So the relationship between PBS and alcohol problems will be reduced. If it's still statistically significant, we say we have partial mediation. If it is reduced and no longer statistically significant, we say that we have full mediation, right? We throw those in, we hit go, and we see that this is no longer statistically significant. This is statistically significant. So in this case, we say what? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Say that again. Fully mediated, yep. All right. And how do we figure out the mediated effect, the indirect effect? How do we come up with a coefficient for the indirect effect?
Multiply A by B, divide by 17.
Okay, so multiply A times B. Let's start with that. So we have A, which is in our first step up here. Where was it? Was this one A? Sorry, my thing is glitchy. Here we go. No, that's not it. Must be this one. PBS tote predicting consumption. It's right here. We have a minus 0.103 times plus 0.347. Anybody want to do that math for me quick? Where's my phone at? .103 times 0.347, and I get minus 0.035741. Is that what everybody else got? And then we would divide that by the pooled standard error. I'm not even going to show you guys how to get that because I don't want you to do it. It gives you the Sobel test. It gives you a z-test, but it's also not an accurate way of getting the indirect effect, at least not anymore. But the coefficient should remain consistent, right? So our coefficient of minus 0.035741 is our indirect effect. The test of that indirect effect we need to get bootstrapped standard errors in order to test that. So how do we get bootstrapped standard errors? We can get that using process. I'm not positive if process will download to these computers. If it doesn't, then we will download it just on mine, and we will walk through recording it. But everybody pull up web courses, and under, did I publish the module that has process in it? Okay. Download the process zip file. See if you can just save that to the desktop here. Does it let you save it to your desktop? And then unzip it. And process works both with SPSS and also with SAS. If you want to use this in the context of SAS, you can. Everybody let me know once you've got the process file unzipped and ready to roll. What's that? Oh yeah, no. Unzipping it is only gonna. That's only like the first step. So, everybody have process unzipped and ready to roll. Okay. I'm gonna pull up my process folder here. So, oops, where is it? Downloads. So your process folder should look something like this, right? And you will see a few different files in here, some PDF files. You should also download the process PDF file that is on web courses. All that has is the various process models. And it's not an exhaustive list of process models, just FYI. And then if we click in here, you will see process.sps. And then if you click here, you will see process.spd. So, everybody have these files? Everybody can see this, right? Okay. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to install process into SPSS. You have to do this every single time that you start SPSS if you want to run process. The first thing that we'll do is we are going to go File, flip back over to SPSS, File, oops, Open, Syntax. And you're going to navigate to that folder that you just had opened. And you're going to open the SPSS one, and then you are going to click on process.sps. What? You guys don't have it?
It doesn't appear. Click on it and then it just disappears.
Wait, what?
It doesn't open.
Like when we try to locate it in the folder that it's in,
Yeah.
it's just not there.
No,
Can you use
it is there. Like I see it, but then I click on open and the syntax just doesn't open.
Yeah, so you can set the folder. Like extract all the folders inside the zip folder.
It did open, yeah.
So you guys don't, it doesn't look like this for you guys? It does for jigs. So it is U2 and that's it? Is that right? Anyone else not see this?
So go file, open, sync. No, you're going in the wrong thing. Yeah, go in there. Oh. Open? Now wait. It might just take, would you do a little bit of file? Love it. Okay. Move it over a little bit. Is it really not?
Also, I can't.
Okay.
Go back to that video you just had some class. Which one? The one where everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Huh.
But that's cool.
Here's open. Hold on, Jake. Can you, what is going on this thing? That's fine. You're gonna go to file.
It's, I did the same thing that you just considered. It doesn't open. Open sometimes. Process. Nothing happens. It doesn't open the syntax.
Just to save the data.
It is something on title.
It's done.
It basically is. It's an accent. There's no reason you can't call that. That's an accent. How would you write it? Oh, what
It doesn't open the syntax.
Is it in downloads?
It comes zipped from down. I have it in my computer response now. I tried to use one. Download documents. I unzipped it again. It didn't just do it.
So, do I have a Telegram?
Yes. Yeah, I know. Wait, Thursday? It's our right now. So Monday, yeah, it's part of the week.
My Thursdays,
But
like, I mean, like, it might be good on
Yeah, Wednesday. Thursday,
I'm never fully
it's like
rested.
so close. It's so close to Friday.
It is supposed to be on Friday.
Not.
It's not right. It's not the same.
Thursday night is the first night I get to sleep, so.
Right, right. That's understandable. It's very like, it's front heavy, and I don't
So
get
you
my
just do it on the 20th.
It's my time.
Let's say 0 seconds.
I actually did two semesters.
Oh, Tuesday this semester.
No, my entire life I've been Tuesdays the most. Because Monday you're rested,
That's
Sunday,
what I was just saying.
and then Tuesday, you are no longer rested until Sunday, and you still have the rest of the file.
That's fair. The reason I don't like Thursdays is because
Oh,
it's the opposite. You've already gone through, so like, you're just like, I'm always done by Thursday. I'm always just like, get this shit done.
Wednesdays are so busy that Thursdays I'm just like.
I mean, definitely depends on my schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Thursdays aren't that bad right now.
Hey, good work, Jason. Thank
You got it figured out?
Yeah, must have downloaded it wrong. That was
Also, that means we have to work twice as many meetings per week, guys.
Yeah, that's what we
I
do.
work for ethics, you can actually, 3 hours of talking.
Yeah, well, then you get out.
6 hours.
To do whatever the hell you want.
6 hours, Mark.
That's what we can get.
You know, I meant, for classes
No,
now,
it's 6. Doesn't matter. Don't break it up. It's 6.
but, you know what?
You're busy.
In terms of,
Whatever.
Obviously,
the
it's
7
3.
days only apply to one 3-hour class.
Yeah, it's obviously 3, but it's really 6.
My only concern is that she has
Well, I don't think she's gonna be able to hold her one attention either, so. I just love the fact that all of you like rolls off, whatever, and I can leave everyone. If you wanna go leave for 3 weeks, you can go leave for 3 weeks, unless you have your lab. That's
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Probably could only have a couple of classes in July, so it's like,
I did.
I need to get it printed. I need to be here for that, at least.
For one class, I had like,
Right.
there would be a couple contenders, but that was the last session, was like Zoom.
I don't know, it just feels like a real, like, well, okay, like, on one hand, like, yeah, we're talking about your last second, but then on the other hand, like, yeah. And you're 6 hours a week.
See, I told you 6 hours.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. So everybody has this syntax pulled up, right? Let's go edit, select all. This syntax is basically just a bunch of code that's going to add something to SPSS. Yeah,
If I already have processed, I shouldn't do this, should
it won't matter. But in fact, every time you start SPSS, you have to redo this. Process deletes out of SPSS each time. And in fact, I'll show you what I mean here. Like, I'll pull that back up in a second, but if we go analyze, regression, note what this looks like. There are little boxes here all the way down, right? And that is your basic SPSS boxes. I'm gonna come back here. Whoops. Where's my syntax at that I had up? Oh, this is it. I'm sorry. Okay, so if you hit select all and then that little green arrow, which is run, you can see down here it says running define and set print back off. There, it's done. Now process has been installed on SPSS. And if we go analyze, regression, oh shoot, it's still not there. Oh, we have to do one other thing. So now that process is installed into SPSS, we have to go extensions, custom, or is it utility? It's extensions, utilities, install custom dialog. That first piece installs process, but it doesn't add our ability to point and click. So now we will go install custom dialog. And then we click on Custom Dialog Builder, which is inside our process version 33 for SPSS, Custom Dialog Builder file. It's not showing up. Who is having issues right now? Kelly.
start that step over?
Yep, let's go back to the beginning here. Okay, so we've all done this, right? We did select all and we did run. Let's go extensions.
Wait, mine's not running.
What do you mean?
Select all and then the green play button.
And then go to your output, and then your output.
You have to look in output, yeah.
Okay, I see. It's good. Oh, perfect. Okay, my bad.
All right. So extensions, utilities, install custom dialog, and we're going to go back to our process folder, and in process V3.3 for SPSS, we have another folder in there called custom dialog builder file, and then we have process.spd. Everybody see this?
I have the process in the V3.3 for SPSS folder, but then like when I click on it, there's a video to show it.
I'll come back. Go. Those.
Yeah.
Is it up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually,
No, here, what does it say here?
yeah, you have it.
Close this and go back to it.
Yes,
She switched it.
Go
but
to
you know,
that
she switched it. So go back to the
Go.
There it is.
Oh my god.
I thought this is building all that. So that we just did the very approach and.
I open it and actually like the original file because it did first and then it showed up.
I don't know what that might
Right,
be.
here's this, and which one, but. Yeah, I just process.
And I've seen that.
And then go back to
Yeah, so we, he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
It's weird, I wonder why.
So technically now that process is installed, I can just
Yeah.
run the regression again and that's.
And then go to analyze.
If you know.
I hear that's very fun. It's like, get 8 years.
It's just like the, so there's estimates right here.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
It was over.
I think I may forget how to just pick it out. So that's gonna be fun.
Come to show us. No, it's not. Come to show us. Yeah, it's not just there. He's got the regression truck to shut off. Everybody was nice.
I saw like that guy.
Some people like, like what you all tell us.
Well, once they got
Somebody
I know.
Okay. You good to go? Rebecca, did you get it figured out?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are all good to go. We've all installed it. And the proof will be in the pudding here. If we click open, now, if we go, oh, hold on, mine's thinking. I think mine's thinking. It doesn't say anything. Can somebody who has gotten this to run click analyze and go down to regression, and you see some boxes, and there's a box that now has a new little thing there, right? Perfect. My computer doesn't want to do that. Seems like my luck today. Oh, there it is. Okay, so analyze, regression, and we see process 3.3 by Andrew F. Hayes. Everybody see that? Okay, those are our steps. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we will start using process, unfortunately.